Jade Melbourne, you're only 22 years old, but you've already achieved so much in your career. And I've done a couple of interviews with you, but I was hoping to kind of go back to your childhood and kind of just learn where it all started, if that's all right.
Yeah, cool. So for me, it was pretty simple. My nan brought me a basketball hoop for Christmas, and she brought me a basketball. She rocked up on my front doorstep and said Merry Christmas. And as soon as the hoop was kind of put up, I just fell in love with the game. It was super quick actually. I'd dump my school bag after school. I'd go out and shoot hoops. Mum would, be dragging me back into the house. And then I said to mum, I need to get into a real team. I need to get into a real team. Got into a real team and yeah, just fell in love with it. The competitive side of me, the determined side, the passionate side was just allowed to be me. And it was like it was where I discovered like I could be completely myself. So that's where it all kind of begun. And then, now I'm here.
So you're obviously a very active kid. Like sport was just a massive part of like your childhood. And like you grew up in, a little country town in like Victoria, but like why do you think sport was just such a massive part like of your upbringing? And I guess also like what did you just love about it at the time?
Yeah, for me, sport, basketball, the game is fantastic. Like I love the game. I love perfecting my craft, all of that kind of stuff. But the exciting thing about being in a small country town was, the friendships, the connections and the relationships you made. If you played sport in the town, kind of everyone knew about it. So that was like a really cool thing. And some of my best friends were the people I met playing for the Terrelgan T-Birds. And then you play against the Moe Meteors, the Morwell Magic, Maffra Eagles, Wonthaggi Coasters. And you just got to know all of them as well. So it was just like by the time you got to under 18s, you were just like, you were chatting almost on the court because everyone was friends. It was still competitive when I got to grand final day on a Sunday, but yeah, just the local tournaments, the road trips. We spent a lot of time in cars going to Melbourne. So yeah, a lot of road trips, a lot of quality time spent with mum and dad, a lot of stops at the halfway point at Macca's to have a Sunday after a win. Just different things like that are some of the best memories and why I'd encourage everyone to, get in sport because, it's so fun. I think
Yeah.
we have a bit of an advantage being in the country, just because, it's such a small, tight-knit community, so you get to know everyone through it. But yeah, just staying active, all that kind of stuff is just something that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, but it does sound like you were always kind of traveling, and even when you were kind of at like the age I was now, like you were probably just always going to tournaments and stuff. But did that like feel normal to you because you'd been doing just sport for so long, you'd kind of always been on the road, or like did you realize like how cool everything you were doing was when you were only like 15?
I probably didn't appreciate it as much as I did now. But it was so cool. And, some of the times like it'd get to 6 o'clock when you'd on a Friday night when you'd finally leave for your 8:40 game in Melbourne and you'd just be like, I'm exhausted, but just like heading down the highway, you usually carpooled, so you'd have someone else's mum and your friend in the car and you might sing one day, you might do something else. And I think I really enjoyed it at the time, but I didn't realize how much fun I was probably having until I looked back on it. And some of those memories and some of the storytelling after the game, win or loss, is some of the coolest memories I had. And we'd go to tournaments and not going to kids' birthday parties and friends' birthday parties and concerts and stuff like that was normal because like I was so excited to raid mum's big snack basket in the boot of the car, and there'd be three of us, in there making, I think it was Musically at the time before it was TikTok. So just things like that were just super fun. And I look back at them now and I was like, those are some of my fondest memories to date.
Yeah, so I guess like you said, it was kind of like normal to be like missing out on maybe like the normal like teenage experience, but you were still doing
Yeah.
amazing things. Like how important was it, I guess, as well? Like you obviously had some great friends in basketball, and like how important was it to, like have those really good friendships and also with people that like understood what you were doing?
Yeah, I love being surrounded by like-minded people. So, when a lot of us that played for the T-Birds together, the group I kind of went through the ranks with, all went to the same school too. So, and not being a huge town, usually a lot of the time you'd all be invited to the birthday party. So at least you knew you were missing it with your mates as well. So that kind of made it a little bit easier. But it was fun because we created our own fun too. A lot of the girls that I played with, we played right through from under 10s to under 18s. So we all got along and we knew we loved the sport and we had a really talented team. So we were always fighting, to get better and better each tournament. So yeah, all that kind of stuff felt normal. And, for me personally, like I preferred the basketball lifestyle and raiding snack boxes and staying at tournaments until 9 p.m. and stuff like that, much better than probably partying anyway. So for me, that was a normal life, just because I loved it so much. So I didn't feel like I missed out on too much. But yeah, a lot of my friends were in the same kind of boat and we all enjoyed each other's company.
So it was always kind of basketball, but I'm imagining that maybe it would have changed a bit. Like when you first started, you were just playing for fun because you love the sport, but then in those teenage years, it kind of starts to get a bit competitive. Like, were you still kind of like loving it at that point, or were you still just playing for fun, or were you actually like a really competitive person? And is that why you were playing in those teenage years?
Yeah. So the way I've always looked at it, so like obviously when I played when I was younger, under tens, under eights, you're playing for fun because you absolutely just love the game. You love making new friends and stuff like that. But for me, being competitive is fun. And with that, there's obviously always a good result when you win. And there's always like the result of when you lose. And when you start to have the mindset, like when you lose, you learn. I think that's super important. But yeah, competing is fun. And so that's when like I got into the Traralgon T-Birds. So I had my Friday night game, but then I also had my tournament team. And when we were just playing tournaments, like that was when I discovered how much like I loved competing, I think, because it's a bit more serious. You're playing the best kids from each town. And yeah, being surrounded again by that same group was a lot of fun. So yeah, competing is fun for me. So that's how I've always looked at it. And then you obviously move up then to like a representative team, you move up to a state team and stuff like that. And it just gets more and more competitive, which comes with challenges. But like I said, like I've always viewed competing as fun and something that I've always I think that's built my career is seeking out challenges and kind of trying to meet those expectations. So yeah, that was all heaps of fun for me. And I think that's put me in a really good position moving forward. But doing it with good people was always the best part about it.
I was gonna say, like, even now when I watch you, like, just in the WNBL, it just looks like you're always having the best time, and you're like not playing like you're obviously still being really competitive, but it just always looks like you're having fun. Like, do you think that's a big part of kind of helping you like get to where you are now, just having that like good mindset?
I think so. I think the day I stop having fun with the game is the day that I'll be done. And hopefully that's not until I'm 50. No, I don't think I'll be playing that long. But you know what I mean? Like I think it's so important for me. Basketball is probably the one thing that I'm like super passionate about in life. I absolutely love the game and everything that comes with it. And yeah, like being that 40 minutes is my happy place. And it doesn't matter if we lose, we win. Being able to showcase what you've practiced during the week, what you've challenged yourself to try and accomplish, you've picked up a new skill, you've seen a teammate work on something and then they're able to pull it off in a game. I think all those little moments is what is so special to me. Seeing the crowd's excitement with a big shot, and that's why you'll see me celebrate because I love, the engagement and being able to play off the fans. So I absolutely love it. Like I said, I'd be done with it if I didn't have fun. People constantly remind me when I've got a frown on my face to turn it upside down, but yeah, there's no point doing what you don't love. And that's kind of how I've always looked at it.
You'll definitely be around having a lot of fun for a long time, Jade, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just kind of getting to the end, like we've spoken about it before, how sports just always been a really big part of your life. But when you compare it to like what it meant to you when you were this age, I've got this point of view,
Oh,
like to now, like how has it changed? Like what did it mean to you then?
so that's a picture with my Dora Bobcat. But that was my favorite player, Nathan Jones. And a quick little story. So,
Again.
yeah, Nathan Jones, that football player. So he was a Melbourne player and he was like the heart and soul of the team when they were like going through a tough time. They constantly were the last on the ladder. They had coach changes, but no matter what, he just stayed. And I think I obviously didn't know when I was 7 or 8 about like, different characteristics and
Yeah.
traits like loyalty and commitment and leadership and stuff. But I think watching him and what he did for my favorite football club was amazing. And um, I kind of have avoided saying like, oh, why did you pick number 2 for the Olympics? But when there wasn't a lot of numbers available, number 2 wasn't. He wore that number.
Oh, wow.
So that's a cool story, I think. Just like something that he did. Obviously, like I'm a loyal person. Like I've been at the Caps my whole pro career. I've been a leader, someone that I want to be someone that can inspire my teammates as well. So that's a cool story about Jonesy there. But yeah, little Jade just loved, she loved Auskick at the time. At that time, there was an AFLW league. So that was kind of a dream that kind of couldn't happen for me. But yeah, just loved sport. Those memories bring back, running around in my D's jersey, kicking the footy with my dad, shooting hoops in the backyard, probably still in my D's jersey because I didn't follow a WNBA or basketball team yet. But yeah, that Jado loves sport. I think that same Jade still loves sport. And yeah, like I said, that's kind of why I play. I remember the little girl that, was so happy to receive a basketball hoop from Nan that morning. And like I said, it's fun for me. It's something I'm passionate about. And when I'm not having fun with it anymore is the day I'll call quits.
Sounds so cool. And I didn't know that story. That's so cool that you could share that. So thanks so much for sharing that.
No, I actually haven't told anyone. So that's an
Wow.
exclusive story for you. Yep.
Thank you, Jade. I appreciate it.
No, all
And
good.
just something that I asked you at the beginning, a question, just to kind of think about, and I want to ask it to you, like why you think it's important for people to stay in sport, because we know, a lot of women and girls kind of drop out like around the age that I am now, actually. But why do you think it's important for people to stay in sport, whether they're playing, they're trying to play for their country or whether it's fun?
Yeah, I think sport provides so much that some things in life just honestly can't teach you. I think the best people in the workplace are people that, can work well in a team, are leaders in their own respect, are caring, can trust people and stuff. And I think a lot of those start at a really young age playing sport. So, whether it's something you aspire to be, whether it's something that you're just good at, or whether it's something you want to do for fun, because six other people in your team, six other people around you want to be in a team of bang, seven people. You got a netball team, you got a basketball team. So whatever it is, I think it's just a great avenue, um, to do something that keeps you active.
Yeah.
Health and fitness is super important in our lives, and something that just keeps you engaged with friends and family as well. It also then gives you an interest to watch a higher profession, if it's not something you aspire to be. But I think it's so important to stay in sport, whether it's just like you do a training and a game on the weekend, but being able to, stay in touch with people. You obviously are in sport with like-minded people, otherwise they wouldn't be playing, but super important. It's for health, it's for, well-being, and some of the best memories are played in sport. So, yeah, I would encourage people not to drop out, continue to do it, even pick up something else, but being able to learn things, stay fit and healthy, it's super important.
Well, thank you so much, Jade. It's been so great to, I guess, get to know this side of you that I hadn't really asked about before. And yeah, thanks so much.